Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of New Book Who Dis.
I have, of course. Okay, turn off echo. It's always got to be something.
Yeah!
I have Sunday. I, of course, am DeathMetalHero, your intrepid host, and with me is Mr. Aaron C., otherwise known as Immortal Rising Comics. How you doing today, sir? Welcome.
Good, very, very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I've spent the day working on Mercenary Guild, and actually took a break, went outside, went for a walk, breathed in some fresh air, touched grass. That whole fun thing.
Yeah,
But
you gotta do that.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How's things going along for you today?
Well, not too bad. I've been crazy at work, doing like 50-hour weeks or trying to. You get a little bit of overtime,
Right. Dang, man.
Still kind of recovering from the winter and some of the things I overspent on for Christmas.
Yeah, that do happen, don't it? Yeah, that do happen. Yeah.
But, other than being, worn down because of work and life is sometimes a little boring and stuff like that, but the weekend is coming, so I'm excited for that.
Weekend is coming. That is correct.
We got D&D this weekend. I'm cleaning out my garage as well, so everything's fine.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to start up a new season of D&D over on Red Valkyrie for Dice Dames and Dudes Season 3.
Yeah, Season 3. I saw that. That'll be cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's a different world. We're gonna be playing like a homebrew mashup of Shadowrun and D&D. So it's gonna be like a homebrew Shadowrun in 5e. So it's pretty cool. Woodrow is he's a hell of a talented DM, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's concocted.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. But thank you, Feline. I appreciate that. My better half and partner in crime already dropping the link in the chat for us. Speaking of the chat, let's go ahead and say hi. Yep, that's my lady. Skull, beautiful. Thank you. Yep, always my partner in crime. Always got my back. She says, "Hello, Aaron."
Hey, what's up, Feline?
We got Derek the Dukester Clay. What's up, man? How you doing, sir? Been a while. Good to see you, man. Yeah, face melting. That's how we like to roll around here. I haven't done the sing along of Doom in a while, so I gotta get my face melting in where I can.
Yeah.
There will be a sing along of Doom at some point this year. I'm gonna make it happen, just because people have been asking. Are you familiar with the sing along of Doom, Aaron?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so the sing along of Doom was actually the first live stream I ever did, and it became one of my more popular shows for a while there. I'd be singing out in the garage, and I would take requests. Usually ended up being like radio hits that I would then absolutely moiterize. Gotta cannibal corpse them up, as it were. But
so
it's been a while since
pop songs and then do it in death metal. Is that it?
Basically, yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with Frog Leap Studios, but he does metal covers of popular songs, pop songs, and so he's been a godsend to being able to do the sing along of Doom. But yeah, there will be more this year, just because it's a lot of fun. Currently, last year I had to move, so all of my stuff is in the garage, which is where where I used to do the sing along of Doom. So my studio is filled up with crap. So I gotta purge a bunch of that crap, and then I can actually get back to it.
I'll be spending all day tomorrow probably cleaning out my garage. So it's time to do it.
Right? I mean, and you never realize exactly how much junk you have until you go to move it, and then when you have to, clean it out and throw stuff away. It's amazing all the stuff that we accumulate over time, right?
Yes, I mean, I expect to be going to the dump, so it's fine. I've already got it quarantined in the corner, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Well, that's good. You've got a head start on it.
yeah.
What's up, Past
I did
Master
the
Dan?
pre-work.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up?
Garage is a potty word around these parts. Yeah, I bet, man. The back in the day, people used to park their cars in the garage. Now it's
Yeah.
basically just like a storage unit for everybody, from what I
Yep.
understand.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down in Florida, so you got to be careful about storing anything paper out in the garage because it'll get warm and then it'll cool off, and then it'll get warm and it'll cool off, so you get that condensation, and it'll absolutely ruin anything paper.
Oh, sure.
Okay, the family
It's
storage says Past Master Dan.
yeah, well, it is. And luckily, it's still on my own property, so I don't have to like go somewhere and
Well, that's good.
pay rent, right?
Oh yeah, no. At least I can store it there for the time being, and then clean it out at my leisure. What's up, some person? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Garage.
Yeah, stuff it up your garage. So you reading anything cool recently? Anything that you picked up either at the comic shop or through crowdfunding? Anything like that?
Yes, actually, so I have a stack of indies that I'm slowly going through. Like I got a couple of novels that I've got to get through. Like I got John A. Douglas, his Black Crown. I got
I've heard good stuff about that.
Vigilante's Creed.
Nice.
But at work, I don't have time to sit and read. So I've been listening to the Dune audio play on YouTube.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
really,
great.
like voice acting and everything.
Like with
so
the
nice.
full cast and the special the sound effects.
I think it has effects, but it's not a lot of them. It's mostly just the voice acting part. So, which is really cool. I like it. Yeah,
it's great. I actually listened to that while I was driving up to South Carolina to go see Feline.
That's cool.
It's a good book, man. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I loved the Finch Dune 84 Dune.
Oh yeah.
Growing up, huge influence on me. Kind of growing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, with the new Dune kind of swirling around, I was like, the new Dune it's okay. I don't feel it's as
I haven't
inspired.
seen it yet. Yeah, David Lynch did an amazing job back in the day.
He did something very special in my opinion with that movie. So, but anyway, so I'm like, well, let me just check out the damn book. Like I've watched videos on the lore and stuff like that, but I haven't actually, read the book. So that's kind of what I'm going through now. And then after that, or in between, because I think I'm going to try to do the series depending on how long I can stay with it. Because they're pretty long. But in between that, I'm also gonna read or listen to the audiobook of Solomon Kane. So then we're gonna talk about it on James Craig's channel.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Solomon Kane. I know that he's a creation of Robert E. Howard, and Howard is fantastic. I mean, listening. Yeah. See, audiobooks are the only way that I can get novels in, because if I'm going to sit and like look at something and read, it's going to be comics, because I've got stacks and stacks of comics that I haven't gone through. You know what I mean? And comics are a visual medium. You got to look at them.
You got to look at them. Yeah.
Audiobooks I can listen to while I'm working on my book, especially when I'm inking. When I'm inking something, the heavy lifting's already done. Laying out the pages, doing the pencils and stuff like that. Going in and inking, I can listen to an audiobook, and there'll be times when I go back and look at a page that I finished, and I will hear snippets of an audiobook that I was listening to. I'll look at paintings that I did years ago, and I'll hear like a snippet of the audiobook that I was listening to.
It's so funny.
But
that's so funny how that works. Yeah, well, like at work, I do like 10-hour days or whatever. So, man, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit there, maybe I'll be at my workbench or something. If I'm not walking around doing stuff, I got 10 hours to sit and listen to a book. So, because like I do podcasts and stuff like that, but really, once you go through like an hour or 2-hour podcast, I still got the rest of the day to go. So,
audiobooks are the way to go.
Like I revisited Dragonlance. I revisited the Drist stories. I got into some BattleTech. There's just a lot on YouTube, which really surprised me. Like just free books. Thank you.
It's kind of crazy how they can get away with that. Putting those audiobooks up on YouTube. But I mean, hey, I appreciate it. It's something to read, and I don't have to use my credits on Audible to grab them.
Yeah, I wish that the indie scene would be able to do it easier. I guess, you know, there's not a lot of that, and I can't remember. Somebody told me why, but it just, I guess it doesn't really work out for them, or it's too expensive or something like that. So,
Well, I mean,
but it would be so cool. I'd be able to actually get into more indie books because I'm not enough of a novel reader to have that time just regularly, ready to go.
I agree, man.
I don't know.
It is expensive to get somebody, especially a competent narrator, to actually read a novel. And a competent narrator can actually elevate a novel. I mean, I listened to Anansi Boys, which is the sequel to American Gods by Neil Gaiman. And I honestly don't think I would have enjoyed that book quite as much if the narrator had not been as good as he was.
Who'd they get?
I can't remember the dude's name. It's been probably a decade since I've listened to it.
Okay,
but I distinctly remember him doing.
I was wondering if it was the guy that played Anansi in the show. That'd be kind of.
Oh no, that was Orlando Jones. He's great, but no, this was long before they did a show.
Fair enough. I forget how old those books are.
Oh God, they're really old. I listened to those. Shit, I guess that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Thinking back on it, talking about it, I was like, wait, I read American Gods in like 2005 or something. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They actually did a full cast version with the author's preferred text of it before the show came out, and that is definitely the way to go if you're going to listen to it. It's primo.
All right, did you see the American Gods show, the TV show?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I don't know that I finished it though.
Well, they didn't finish it, so yeah. I don't know. It kind of dropped off. The first season was kind of cool, and then it just kind of it started flopping on me. I was like, damn, that's too bad.
I think the problem is they started trying to add too much to it instead of just like sticking to the story beats, because it was a very well crafted story. And the beats of that story were very much laid out, and they followed one another, kind of precisely. And you had the little non sequiturs, as it were, the little interstitial stories. And I feel like they tried to add too many of those interstitial stories, and it kind of broke the flow of the show. And
that's
because
fair.
of that, I think they kind of lost their momentum as they were going.
That's too bad. Ian McShane is one of my favorite Odins.
He's great, man.
Him and the guy from Django Unchained. Those are two of my favorite versions of Odin in movies.
Oh, so, yeah.
Let's bring back some cool Odin representation.
I agree, man. I agree. We need a good Norse mythology show.
I mean, Ian McShane could probably do anything. So
Ian McShane's pretty badass in everything that he's in. That is absolutely true.
I got to get into Deadwood. I haven't. It's on my to watch list, right?
Yeah.
But again,
I've heard a lot of good things about Deadwood. I've never been super into westerns though.
Yeah.
My dad was big into westerns. And so that's dad and grandpa stuff. I never got into it. But I mean there's been some really fucking cool ones that I've seen, since I got older.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah,
I never really got into
growing up with in my house there's a lot of military movies and westerns. So my dad was big into the westerns. I remember watching the old was it Zorro, the black and white Zorro is like my favorite version of Zorro. I love those old Disney Zorros. It's so neat.
Yeah. I mean, they're well done, good production values, good stories, a lot of, good action.
Actor. Yeah. Well, and that main actor is so charismatic. Holy shit. I wish I could wear one of those old Mexican suits as well as he did.
Right. It's
a little too fat for that.
What is it the kids say? He had that fit on point.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't hate me because I tried to use the kids slang these days.
You're so hip.
I did totally, man. Hip to be square. Some person says Odin cooler than Jesus. Yeah. And went through similar things. It's almost like some of these religions, all sprang from the same thing.
It's almost like there's religious tropes and archetypes.
I know. It's weird, man. It's weird how stories just kind of make it around the globe and are passed from peoples to peoples and modified for the different regions. But that's cool, man. I actually just the reason why I'm kind of talking about that is I actually just finished listening to Graham Hancock's Magicians of the Gods. And he actually goes over all these different all these different, I guess, religions or these different mythologies and whatnot, and everywhere in the world has a flood myth, and I do mean everywhere in the world. India, Norway,
everywhere.
Even Native Americans have a flood myth, a destruction of the world myth. So I mean, something had to have happened to make that a reality. Had to be some kind of something. I mean, either that or people just really copy. I don't know.
No, it's like I don't know if it's just so universal that it's in every single ancient history. I just believe that it's probably at the end of the Ice Age or something. Once the glacier started receding, all that water had to go somewhere, and like so you see like Doggerland and stuff like that, like around Britain, like it was much more landmass where Britain's at. But then when the ice sheets, receded, there was more water and it flooded and made the English Channel and all that other stuff. So
rose by 300 feet.
Yeah. And there's so much ancient history that's just lost for now.
The Younger Dryas, as they like to call it.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
It's the flooding cataclysm. But yeah, it's taken a while for science to actually be like, you know what, this actually did happen. And there's a lot of evidence pointing to like a series of meteor strikes that broke up the ice sheets. And I mean, I could talk about this all night, man. Do you ever watch the Y-Files, which is a channel on YouTube?
No.
Oh, dude, it's a great channel. They go into a lot of this kind of stuff and they do a lot of research and they back it up. Definitely recommend that channel. Feline and I watch that channel all the time.
Nice.
They usually do shows on Thursday nights. They're taking a month-long hiatus, but they've got some compilations that they're going to be putting out. They go over UFO sightings, they go over cryptids, they go over all kinds of stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely go check that out. It's a lot of fun. Me
and Chris Fisk, he's my co-host. We did reviews of was it King Cryptid 1 and 2?
Oh, dude, I love that book.
Yeah, it's so fun. And then we're gonna do 3 and 4. Well, so originally we did 1 and 2 together, and it was like, I think it was like a 2-hour stream. It's like, oh shit, I guess we can spend an hour on a book easily. So
definitely.
So we'll probably break up 3 and 4 into 2 different shows. But the Y-Files,
Yeah,
thanks for
the
sharing
Y-Files. Thank you, Feline. I appreciate that. See, my partner in crime here. She got my back with the links. Highly recommend the channel.
What do you think of UFOs? Extraterrestrial or like ancient real technology or something?
6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm torn between the two. I mean, are they extraterrestrials or are they ultra terrestrials? See, both.
Ultra, yeah. Or are they inner Earth ultra terrestrial?
Well, see, that's the thing, man. That this all three actually. Yeah,
all three.
Dude, there's just truth is stranger than fiction, as they say, and there's a reason why that's a saying. There's so much about our world that we just have no fucking clue about, like literally have no idea about. I mean, look at our oceans, for fuck's sake. We barely know anything about the depths of our oceans. There could be all kinds of crazy shit hidden down there.
For sure.
So
hell, even like I don't know how much you're into electronics. I know you're a musician, so you probably have a little bit of understanding of
I work on computers and stuff too. So
there we go. So I don't know if you've heard of the electric universe, and basically electrons don't exist, and it's all it's like pressure mediation in the ether.
Oh yeah, you will have a field day with the Y-Files. They actually did an episode on the electric universe theory.
That's cool.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. I mean, and then there's the theory that we're all just living in a simulation. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. So that one I think is just like a newer version of trying to explain God without saying God. You know, it's like, well, we're in a simulation, so you're saying there's a higher power, right? Like you're saying that there's something meta bigger than you. Got it.
No,
But
I
it's
mean,
not God. Okay.
the universe is definitely something bigger than, you know, and outside of us. So I mean, again, you know, who knows? You know, who knows?
That's true.
Some of the biggest
Maybe we'll
minds are
find
like,
out.
oh, it's a 50-50 shot whether or not we're in, you know, and we're in base reality.
Yeah.
You know, because they've done studies and they look down to the you know, base molecule level or whatever, and you know, it's essentially binary, you know, binary code. You know, they're not literally seeing ones and zeros, but you know, the structure, what everything's built out of is kind of a binary code. So I mean,
I don't doubt
never
it.
know.
You know, I think you know, it's like I think that the universe and all that, whatever you want to, is just kind of fractal. From my experience, is like you'll see the exact same patterns in small places as you do in bigger places. You'll see those similar patterns in things like personalities or just interact. Like there's just, it's kind of
As
interesting.
above, so below.
Right, that kind
as
of
below,
stuff.
so above. You know, so yeah. I mean, and I find it funny that there's so much you know, ancient wisdom that is being brought forth now. Like people are paying attention to it. You know, I mean, and it could be part of because you know we have all this information at our fingertips. You know, we have the internet, we have the ability to share all this stuff, and people have the ability to research it.
The age of information is it's a lot, you know, and so I think some people kind of get trapped into like just crazy town because there's so much information, and like we're not taught how to process it properly, right? Like some people just listen to something and just believe everything. They just believe what they're told, you know. It's like, well, no, you have to have some kind of a critical thinking process at least. You know, it's like it has to go through barriers before you're like, yes, I believe it 100%. You know,
well, you gotta listen to things with a discerning mind. You know, you gotta
well
balance it against you know, the other research. You know,
well, it's like Aristotle is like a sign of intelligent mind is like one who can hold opposing views without believing, or whatever it was. Yeah. It's just that's so true for even today.
Absolutely.
You know?
You can the sign of an intelligent mind is being able to hear an opposing opinion and not having to accept it or something like that. I know the quote you're saying, and I butchered it, but yeah, I know what you mean. Some person says quantum computers run off a different code. There's an on and off, also off and on at the same time, or neither. Yep.
Schrödinger, shouldn't it just be Schrödinger's computer in that?
Basically, you know, you will go ahead and check out the Y-Files, man. You will absolutely have a field day with that channel. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, you know, and you know, questioning what we know. Learn how else do we learn? You know, we learn from asking questions.
It's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like trying to teach my kids and stuff, like going through just basic, like I love philosophy. I guess you know, I'm a philosophy. I don't know. Anyways, I love philosophy, and so I try to pass it on to my kids. And one of those ways that it touched me, is like the Socratic method of just asking questions.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just who, what, when, where, why, how, and if it can hold up to even those simple things, then you know you can understand a thing better. And you know, you've got to do that with all the time. You know, especially when you're sitting around like a campfire in your backyard, and you're like,
oh yeah, man,
stars, and you're talking with your family. You know, like sometimes you go in fun places. You know.
Well, I mean, that's. I feel like that's how we expand what we know. It's how we expand our mind, is asking questions, and you know, not being afraid to ask the big questions, asking questions that you know, may challenge your perception of reality, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Kitty is alive.
Kitty is a Schrodinger's
kitty cat is alive. Yes, indeed. We like live kitties around here. Some person says, Aaron, I see you forgot to take the Halloween decorations down. I've seen that background sold at a party store.
Oh, you're talking about my dungeon? Yeah. So, I mean, if you haven't seen my channel, I understand. Actually, I've been imprisoned by a demon of despair named Black Chad, and I have been forced to stay here because I have a positive message against all the F&T crowd and the, oh, Disney's terrible, everything sucks, and all that stuff. So instead, I have sworn to defeat him by interviewing and reviewing indie comics. And yeah, so now I have to exist here in this dungeon every so often to, I guess, torture his ass.
Hey, you know, if he's gonna imprison you, you might as well make it a rough time for him.
That's what I say in my intro. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
That's right. That's right. So I wanted to shout out. So my friend actually he's a mural artist. He does a lot of awesome work.
And so he was like, hey, is there, you know, well, I should say I was explaining, we were talking about like my channel and how I wanted to change it and some of my ideas. And he was like, dude, I would love to do a dungeon. So that's what he did. I showed him some pics of there's a Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
He was coming up with ideas. And I was like, that sounds like the packaging on a Castle Grayskull fucking box. So I sent him some pictures and yeah,
that's awesome, dude. It looks great.
Lighting and yeah. It's just like, he's like, well, I just want to do something fun. I was like, how about this? You know, so
we need more fun on the internet. You know, more fun and entertainment, more fun on the internet, more fun on YouTube and X. I'm streaming to X right now, and I appreciate all of you watching over on X. Thank you very much, guys.
For sure.
Appreciate you being here.
A ton of touch on X compared to
YouTube, man.
So I like it.
Mean, it's slowly but surely becoming a viable platform to stream on, you know, and you know, got more people watching on X right now than I do on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys. You know, feel free to say something, say hey in the chat. For those videos, you got to click on the video and then say
get into it. Because you can just sit and watch and not actually engage, which is kind of dumb. But whatever.
Hey, you know, sometimes I like to lurk while I work. When I'm working on something, sometimes I like to listen to a live stream, and I want to say hi, but at the same time, I know if I do, I'm not going to get any work done. So you know,
you'll start talking.
It's you start talking, you start interacting, which is cool, you know, because I love interacting with people, you know, in the chats. But sometimes it's like I really need to get work done, you know. But I want to support, you know, want to support people and give them the views and stuff like that. So you know, I get it. I totally get it. But we're here to talk about a comic book. You've got the second issue of Immortal Rising coming out. Why don't you give a little background on this book? Like, where did the impetus for this book come from? What's the inspiration?
Oh, jeez. All right, so
I ask the tough questions around here.
It's a big question. So this book has been in the works for, I don't know, like 5 years or more now, maybe 6. I can't remember. It's slowly evolved over time, of course, as I kind of learn what I'm doing and navigate all these new waters and whatever. And so the inspiration came from, it was very innocent. Like I'm sitting there trying to type up all these notes for my D&D campaign setting, because we've played in the same setting for, I don't know, like 20 plus years, you know, 30 years, whatever it is. Wow. And I'm like, all right, I'm tired of asking, you know, in group text, hey, what happened at this time? And so I was like, let me just start keeping a record finally. And so I'm typing out a timeline and just hitting all the major events and stuff like that. And as I'm doing that those events slowly evolved into scenes, right? Like, because I'm not completely new to being a writer. Like I've won competitions for essays. I wrote like music lyrics. I've written a little bit of poetry, short stories, that kind of stuff. I've never done a novel and I've never done comic books, but so as I'm like writing this scene starts forming, and I'm like, oh no, that's not a good sign, right? Like this story wants to be told. So I'm like, hey, you know, I group text I'm like, hey guys, if I were to write out a story for our table, like where do you guys think would be really, you know, what would you like to see? And they all agreed on what I ended up what is in the comic now. So like I was like, all right, I can do that. That's a great like jumping in point for everything. I mean, it seems kind of like everything's in motion, and some people don't like that, but at the same time, it's a lived-in universe. So you've got to find that spot. And they were all like, yeah, that's where, you know, let's pick it up there, because that's where a few of them actually started with this group. So they're like, yeah, my first group when we all played. So I was like, cool. So I started writing it out, and then I had to come to the decision of, am I going to just write a novel, or am I going to do a comic book? Because one of the main things that drew me and kept me in fantasy and role playing and D&D and all that stuff was the art. You know, the fantasy art. Are you kidding me? And you know, just opening up D&D books. I mean, you wouldn't even have to read them. Just go to all the art and look at all the damn art. So
love looking through the monster manual. You know, seeing all the different creatures and critters. Yeah, totally.
That's what my kids like doing too. They love kind of flipping through and say, "Whoa, what's this?" You know. And anyway, so I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do a comic book. I used to read comic books a lot. I kind of got away from them and all that stuff. But you know what? I want to do something where I see these characters. You know, I want to actually, you know, see them, see what they look like, kind of develop that look and everything like that. Well, so then I started talking to artists and whatever. And I had the first issue done by a artist in Indonesia. And it was patchy, man. It was really tough keeping in contact with him because the government kept shutting off the internet. So like there would be like parts of time where I couldn't talk to him because you know, political turmoil or whatever. And so and you know, it took him a while. He was amateur, you know, that stuff. And anyway, so I'm waiting and it's been months, and I'm kind of like getting anxious, and I'm like, you know what, this story is still calling to me, you know, it's still pulling at me. And so I'm like, how about I write a short story and just kind of like to get it out of my system, and you know, a short story that involves the universe but isn't a part of the main stuff, and then maybe I can find an artist and another artist who will, you know, it's a little easier to deal with and stuff like that. So I found Jose Garcia on like ArtStation or something like that. And he was like, this is, so I get a hold of him, and he's like, yeah, hey, I'm looking to get into comic books, and I was like, that's perfect, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who could do sequentials. And he's like, yeah, I work in animation and I can do storyboards, no problem. I'm like, perfect. Let's try this. So I sent him the Knights of Locutus, which is the because Immortal Rising is 2 stories. You've got the like first level kind of story, and then you've got the god level story, and kind of like think of like Clash of the Titans, right? You got like the on the ground kind of heroes, and you can see what the gods are doing. And so I sent him the God story.
Like that.
Yeah. So I sent him the God story, and he, you know, his art, he knocked it out of the park. And,
yeah, Jose's great, man.
Yeah. And so I go to sell the book. I finally get all the pieces from the original artist, and, except for the cover. I never got a cover out of him. But and so I go to sell it on Kickstarter. It goes nowhere. You know, I'm like, geez, what am I doing wrong? But to keep creative momentum, I asked Jose to make issue 2 for me, because I already had issue 1. So I was like, hey, will you do 2 for me? He said, yeah, of course. So, and he got into the main story that way. He was like, wow, this is kind of fun. And so I'm like, hey, Jose, how can I sell this stuff? Like, I can't get any traction, you know, no marketing and stuff like that. And that's when he told me about like Comicsgate, and he's like, get on Twitter and get on YouTube, check out Bancroft, that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. And that's, you know, what opened the door for me for Comicsgate and watching channels. And then like a year later, I'm like, hey, how about I make my own channel so I can meet people and all this stuff. Absolutely. So after he had done issue 2, I had issue 1, but the difference in art was too great. So I'm like, will you please just redo issue 1 for me? And so that's actually what ended up being this was he redid all of issue 1 for me. And yeah. And so we had a successful
link for issue 1 is actually in the description of this video over on Fund My Comic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
and
and
told me
actually
backstage you have like 5 of those left or something.
There's 5 left because I'm selling. So the storefront on Fund My Comic is it's like the stretch goal stuff that we hit. So it's like seven chibi stickers, a magnet logo magnet, and also like an ad card that I had printed out because it was cool, and I was like, hey, here's some free for the people who backed and everything. Yeah. And so, and like I had on my original campaign, I had like cards and posters and all that other stuff. But on the Fund My Comic one, yeah, you get the 7 stickers, the magnet and stuff like that. And there's only 5 left. After that, I'm not going to be offering those all that stickers and stuff like that. So if that's what you're interested in, go over to Fund My Comic now and pick one up. And actually, you can go through the website or the page and just and see examples of the art and the writing and all that stuff. And yeah, it's I don't know.
That's
everybody
awesome.
that goes to the page ends up buying. So
well, there you go.
If you're into anime, you will and fantasy, you're gonna love you're gonna love this project. So, but anyway, so
Jose's work kind of reminds me of Record of Lodos War. Actually,
I can see that. Yeah, definitely. I love that. That's a great show. I've got that on DVD. I accidentally traded that for a Blind Guardian CD. I meant to just kind of trade temporarily, and then like we lost touch. So I ended up with the DVD. He ended up with the CD. But it is
okay.
It is
I mean, Blind Guardian's good, man. I like them. They're
I like
good
it.
band.
Yeah, and it was all very Tolkien. I think it was like story from the Similarian or something. So it's pretty cool. I liked it. But
thank you, Feline.
anyway,
I appreciate you dropping that link. Everybody,
thank
if
you very much.
Part 1, go hit that link right there.
And so, all right. So since I'm rambling and everything, so we get to we have a successful campaign on issue 1, and then I'm like, all right, let's go back to 2 because his art style, his ability has improved since he originally did number 2 for me. So he's been going back over all the pages and touching them up. His coloring has gone to a new level. It's really nice. And you'll see examples of that in this one. Like his art style has improved so much since I first met him. And I'm so glad that I asked him to do this after he kind of had leveled up, and let me show you. I mean, look at that down there.
Yeah, man.
That's
awesome.
Let's see. There's this one.
Yeah, he's got some great page layouts.
I mean, his composition is amazing. It really helps me tell the story just based on, the fact that he knows the flow of how to storyboard. I mean, the dude is crazy good. So, here's a cleric.
Wow.
So anyways, so yeah, and then he's touching up 2 right now. And as soon as I can get 100 signups, I will get that as a tip of the hat to say, go ahead and complete the campaign and start launching and really amp up. So in campaign 2, so in the second campaign, what I want to do is I want to take it from perfect bound. I want to I'm going to take issue 1 and issue 2. I'm going to cut them in 2 because they're both like 50 pages or whatever. I'm going to cut them in 2 and try to sell them as saddle stitch floppies. So
nice.
The paper won't necessarily be as thick. It won't be perfect bound, but it'll be. The idea is to get it to like $5. So like $5 floppies is kind of the motto I'm going for. So then people can be like, ooh, I want to grab this, and just check it out because I've heard good stuff or whatever. Right. And then if they like it, they can come back for more. Or if they just want to collect them all, because I'm going to be putting different covers on these. Like I have alternate covers, which actually, if I could share some
absolutely
art.
If you've got some exclusive stuff that you want to share, please go right ahead.
So let me do that. Let's see if that comes up. There we go. Okay, so this is the cover. This is all the updated art. It's so funny that I have 2 versions of the book, but kind of flipping through. This actually, so this will
Jimmy
be,
Reyes.
yeah, that's Jimmy Reyes, and this is the variant cover. So I'll have it on a perfect bound book, but I'll also have it on, since I said I'm splitting it in 2, I'll also have it on a floppy. So I think that'll be kind of fun, you know. This is a variant cover for issue 1. That's done by Corey Barton.
I was about to say that looks like Corey Barton.
Dude, look at that cheesecake. I love it. So this
Corey's
was
great.
this character was pretty popular on my first campaign. I'm like, you know what? I want to get somebody who can draw hot chicks really well, very unique, right? And I like Corey's work, so I was like, will you do a cheesecake cover for me? And he, he's like, later on, he was like, this is one of his favorite works that he did last year. So I was like, that's cool, because I love it.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah, this
he knocked it out of the park on that.
Yeah, so this will be a variant cover. And then you can see some of the interiors. Yeah, it's kind of flipping through. So story-wise, in the first one, we were introduced to our main party, and a lot of stuff. Well, actually, we're introduced to a lot, and I would say in the reviews, a lot of people, and say a lot. A couple of the reviews were like, "There's a lot going on in this book. It feels crammed in some parts or whatever." But I will say that we slow down in issue 2, and we get to kind of chew on everything that happened in issue 1. And but that doesn't mean that there's not action. So in issue 2, our restless, intrepid party comes upon a village being attacked by the bad guys. So we get to see them, newly formed group, and see how they react to an emergency. But look at that!
Oh man,
great.
that is awesome.
Let's see if I can.
See, I love seeing stuff like this. I'm currently working on a fantasy book called Mercenary Guild, and whenever I see stuff like this, it makes me want to keep leveling up my game.
Yeah,
this is so good, man.
Yeah,
like Jose's just killing it.
Yeah, yep. And then I will give complete credit to like the page composition and all that stuff. Because, what does it say? As many have said, blue boobs sell. Yes.
Blue boobs sell. I mean, boobs
I'm
sell,
finding that out.
Hey, hola, Jimmy. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Hey.
Fucking crushed that cover that you did for
Does that look familiar?
2, man? Yeah. That's beautiful work, man. Good job.
Yeah. So that was his pencils and inks. And then I got a tabletop artist, role-playing game artist. I guess he's kind of known in the field. It's I can't remember his last name. It's Andrea or Andrea something. Starts with a G. I'm sorry I murdered it. I got to write it down and then like phonetically say it. Anyway, so yeah, he did all the coloring on it and stuff.
Nice. I mean that's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, came out great. And anyway, so let me kind of flip through.
We're going to have Jimmy do a variant cover for us as well, because our boy Jimmy does good work. Does damn good work.
He was like super fast. I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
I don't know. He's like, yeah, I've got free time. Here we go. Look at that. Bro.
That's badass, dude. Yeah, Jose is just he's crushing it, man. Like he is.
I wanted to show
more the compositions. Yeah.
But there's some pages that haven't been touched up, so I'm gonna wait until I get those from him before I show the old ones.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I want to I want to share. So Critical Blast, I don't know if you know RJ at all, but he likes to for his job he messes around with AI, and he also does it. Like as for fun or whatever. So he made, I don't know if I can share it, but he made where's it at? 1 second. He made a song for me.
Oh wow.
Pulled it. And I wonder if it'll let me even do it. YouTube. There it is, media player. All right. Hopefully you can hear it and tell me who this sounds like. It's like a minute.
Can't hear it.
No.
Damn.
All right.
if you're gonna share it, you gotta share like the window.
Yeah.
But you'll have to share like the whole thing, the system audio. So you might hear all of us.
All right. 1 second. Let me see if I can do that.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Let's try it again. Share screen. And then we'll go to window. Where is it? Oh, I exited out. Ah, damn it. Oh, well. That's all right. That's fine. Like I said, I boomer through it. This StreamYard really gets on my nerves sometimes.
It's a little bit clunky sometimes. I will admit. I don't. They want you to do everything through a Chrome tab, and not everybody wants to do everything through a Chrome tab.
Yeah, Chrome doesn't always want to do everything,
And Chrome also likes to eat every little last bit of RAM that people have on their computer.
Share audio, share a tab or screen instead.
There's a box to check when you share it. Yeah,
I'm looking for it, but I'm not seeing it.
You gotta. What is it? Let me stop screen, and I'll take a look. So present, share.
Oh, I see. It says I can share entire screen and also
entire
share
screen.
system audio.
That's what you got to do. Yep, that's what you got to do.
All right. Well, I don't want to go crazy on it here. Let's try.
All right,
here we go. Be careful sharing screen audio. Yeah, infinity. 1 second.
There we go.
The kingdom of the vampires, in which Dracula ruled supreme. The undead lords of all the land were held in high esteem. The human race were kept as thralls or meat in abattoirs. But greater evil yet still loomed, invading from the stars.
It's the game of death and life. It's the battle in between. It's a time for knights and heroes.
Immortal rising.
Immortal. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Iced Earth. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I got a kick out of that.
That's pretty cool. And wow, and he did that with AI, huh? Holy shit.
Yeah. That's
Dio, is that you?
Dio. I was like, is that Dio? That's great.
That's impressive. It's also kind of scary, but very impressive.
Yeah, got the
that's
ghost
cool,
of
man.
Dio singing for me.
Right? That song is fun, says Derek. Yeah, man. That is pretty crazy. I like it. That's pretty cool, man. All right, so we'll take a look at the sign up page here. We'll go ahead and play the trailer. Now, this is from the first book, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And this trailer is done by Animane, if anybody knows him.
Nice. Why? There we go.
Yeah, I got to go into YouTube and move that stuff out of there.
Right. Well, I was mostly worried about the full screen is unavailable. Yeah, thank you. I can see that. Can you make it go away? Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. So we saw he showed some of these images.
Yeah.
So you guys can see the interior of the book. I mean,
unfortunately,
you guys,
Indiegogo doesn't give a lot of doesn't give you a lot to play with. So
no, it doesn't.
It'd be cool if you could it'd be cool if you could do your campaign page and then have that, like, oh, this is the sign up for this thing. But it's whatever. At least I have a sign up page.
Yeah. Silver says, "Is that Skeletor?" What's up, Comic Book Bob? Good to see you, man. Been a while since I've seen you, man. Good to have you in the chat, dude. Some person says 80s, 90s vibes here. Absolutely.
Cool.
And Jose does good work. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. You
Yeah,
definitely tell where he's pulling his influences from, and it's great. You know, it definitely reminds me.
I like working with him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. You know, seems to really enjoy what he's doing, and obviously he's having fun. I mean, look at this. I love the perspective on this, like the hand and everything. That's great, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even have to be into comic books. He just wants to. You know, like he teaches art, you know, and like
okay, nice.
He has his own animation career. Like he doesn't have to do this. You know, I'm just glad that he wants to.
he just really likes it. That's fantastic. I mean, that's the reason why you do a book like this, you know, because you like it. You really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jose's animation background really comes out in his stuff. Yeah, it does.
Well, and I love that. You know, everybody's like, oh, you know, it's like you're reading an anime, like a live, you know, like you're actually watching an anime as you're reading.
Oh yeah.
And
the color,
I get it.
It really lends itself well to it. It actually feels like an animated cell.
His color game has gone crazy since between like compared to when I first met him and was working with him to now. His color game is really leveled up. Amazing.
It's beautiful stuff. And Silver says, Goblins Gone Wild sounds like a Dan Plagle thing. Yeah. Plagle's got Goblin Girl. So Goblin Girl Gone Wild. Yeah. I mean, that may happen at some point, you know. Shout out to our boy Plagle. He just went through surgery today to get rid of cancer. He's fighting it and he's kicking its ass. So hot damn. Shout out to our boy Plagle. Keep getting healthy, brother. Keep getting healthy. But yeah, thank you, Feline, for posting the link. Everybody go sign up so you can get the early bird trading card.
Yeah, doesn't cost you anything, and it lets me know that people are interested in all this. So you know, like, I just want to see people say yes, this looks great. Click, you know, give me your email, and I'm not going to obviously I'm not going to hit you constantly with stuff. I'll only send out emails when it matters. That kind of stuff.
Absolutely. You know. But that way you guys don't miss out on this awesome fantasy book. So if you're into anime, if you're into fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, Record of Lodoss War, anything like that, this is I mean, Goblin Slayer. I mean, this has shades of all that. You're gonna
so some of the feedback I got, some of the reviews and stuff, they said that it feels like a D&D campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a fantasy novel, like back to say Dragonlance and stuff like that. I love hearing that, because that was the idea. It was like I wanted to put a fantasy novel in comic book form. So like one of the characters is actually the narrator. The narrator has its own personality. Yeah. And I don't overuse it, but I have been told that the prose matches really well. And they're like, "Are you going to write a fantasy novel? Because like it feels like a fantasy novel." And I don't know, maybe in the future. I really am having a good time with comics. So
fantastic.
That was what I was going for. So apparently at least I did something right. It feels like a fantasy novel. So,
well, I mean, that means you're hitting your mark as far as storytelling goes, right?
Right, at least close to the mark. So issue 1 is like, so I made the story and I was like, this is too big. It would be too expensive for me to try to do in one bite. So I cut it into each act. So issue 1 is the first act of the story. Now issue 2, this is second act. Kind of building up to the third act, and I really like this one a lot because, like, you see that there is going to be problems in the group. I mean, in the first one, you can kind of tell that they don't completely mesh. You're not really sure how it's going to play out, and then in the second one, you get a better idea of how these strangers fit together. And the potential conflicts that are gonna rise in the future. So
yeah,
this is a serial. So
right, but that's how D&D campaigns go. They start off. Some of these people, they may have interactions with each other before, but they kind of have to come together because of the adventure that they go on. They have their reasons for going on this adventure, and then the group kind of congeals, coalesces together as a working group. And that's,
Yep.
I mean, that's half the fun of doing a D&D campaign. And
Right.
if people can get that feeling from reading a comic book, I think that's great, man.
Yeah.
Because I've had fun doing D&D campaigns. With some of my friends. I guess when 5e first came out, I was in a campaign that was a lot of fun. Just dude that I worked with, and his roommate was the DM. He had never actually played D&D before. And then, I met a couple other people that I'm still friends with from that campaign.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good stuff, man. I like it when people can get that feeling. Because
I really like playing with like a brand new guy, like a virgin player. It's like, sure, of course you can join, because like some people get nervous, or like they don't know what to expect, or they see the books, they get intimidated, and it's like
it's a lot, but
players, my table, we've all been playing together for so long. It's like, we'll help you, like if you can at least step up and try to role play, at least show that you're trying.
Right,
we're all having fun,
exactly.
We'll work through all the technical shit with you,
Yeah, I mean the technical shit comes, it's actually like embodying the character, having fun being the character and the role playing. I think that's more important. Because I mean the rolling of the dice and the figuring out of the stats and all that stuff, you can do that. That can be worked out. It's just math. It's
right.
math and dice, but the actual role playing, the having fun. Yeah. Well, because you're crafting a story all together, all of you. The DM has an idea and in different scenarios, but it depends on the players to actually go, go and do the adventure. They've got, the interactions, the reactions. That's what it's all about, to me, at least.
Well, and one of the cool things about writing all this out is like this story happened in our game, and I guess in real life this happened years ago. Like, I know what happens to these characters. I know how they interacted. I know their motivations and all of that. So like this, I could just start talking like they were people I know, because I do know what happened to them. I know how they ended up and the conflicts that they had when they were together and all that other stuff. So, and I also know who dies.
Right.
So
but
that's fun.
These epic tales. I mean, it's like going through a novel series, and you go on these adventures with these characters. You know them. That's what good novels do, right? I mean, that's why people loved Lord of the Rings, because you went on an adventure with these characters. Why they loved The Hobbit, because you went on an adventure with these characters.
Yeah. So I will say this. Yeah, exactly. So the worst, I wouldn't say the worst. I'd say the most critique that I got, no matter what they said, it always came down to although this blah blah blah, I enjoyed the characters and I'm gonna back the next one. So I was like, damn, even on like a bad review, not only the person enjoyed the characters, maybe they disagreed with this or that in the story or the plot, but they enjoyed the characters and they said they're going to come back for 2. So sweet,
right on, man.
Jump on the train and join the ride, because I'm going to get better. Obviously Jose is amazing, and if you enjoy the characters, jump on and let's see where it goes. It's fun.
Buy the ticket and take the ride and see where it goes. Jump on the train. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find dark high fantasy comic book that feels like a fantasy novel. Like you're not going to find that anywhere else. So it's very unique, done in an anime meets Western style.
Right. Yeah, because I'm like I said, I'm working on a dark fantasy book as well, but mine is Mercenary Guild's more in the vein of like Savage Sword of Conan and that kind of thing. I've got
this is more like Castlevania had a baby with Final Fantasy.
Nice. Oh heck yeah, dude! And see, that's a unique mix. Yeah,
yeah, it's very high fantasy. I wouldn't say very high, but it's high fantasy, and it's also kind of grungy dark too, because
got a little bit of the horror aspect because of and
you got
technology.
vampires. Yeah, you got vampires. There's zombies in the first one, that kind of stuff. Goblins in the second, and then in the third one, I'm not going to tell you, but
you got to jump in on the the campaign and got to jump in for the ride. Got to find out with everybody else.
Man, and I wish I had more pages to show. Once that campaign, once I get 100 signups. I'll do the campaign page, and I'll have the new, because like the Knights of Locutus, the God story, so many people love all of the detail on that one. So like I've heard in the reviews to be like, well, the main story, is cool, it looks great and all that stuff, and then the God story, like the detail is kind of it's goes up even higher. Like you're dealing with I've heard it compared to the Primarchs or from 40K. You've got the big badasses, and the art kind of goes up a little bit. The detail goes up a little bit more than on the basic one, and they love it. They actually absolutely love it. And so the Knights of Locutus, the God story in the second one, is I just try to give Jose something crazy imaginative to draw, because he can do it. And I try to push his limits. That's all I'm gonna say. And
he seems to be responding well to it, man. He seems to be having a hell of a lot of fun with it. Yeah, that's fantastic. So Feline has posted the link in the chat. Guys, go hit up this link and sign up for the mailing list. That way you will know when the campaign goes live, and you'll get that exclusive card. Do we know what that exclusive card is yet? Do you have that artwork?
Yes. So in this one, we have a new character kind of introduced, and I am going to put up a card, because in the original one, I did all of the main characters out of that one, and so in this one, the exclusive card will be him.
Nice.
Will be the new character for this one.
Right, so you get a trading card of a brand new character to the series. So Yep, and also go check out number 1. Yes, indeed. Feline
if you want to
them links,
the 7 chibis, the magnet, and all that stuff, all of the stretch goal from the first campaign, it's running out. I got 5 left. So if you would
get it while you can,
get it while you can, get it while it's hot.
That's right.
And then in the second campaign, I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to offer like a bunch of trading cards and posters and stuff. I'm going to stick to just the books, and trying to get the cost down. Like I said, the $5 floppies is a mantra that I'm trying to keep on,
Awesome.
Just depends on the price of paper and ink, guys.
Yep. I mean, printing costs have been going up, but he's doing his best to make it affordable for everybody to be able to jump on this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was inspired by Richard Embry, as he got Blood and Sword, and I'm like, how are you doing $5 books? And he's like, yeah, I'm just taking it on the chin just to get it out there. Like, you got to. I mean, in comics, margins are so slim, anyways.
Yeah, it really is.
I want to offer, hey, here's a taste with the floppies, and then on top of that, here's the more premium, where it's got perfect bound. It's all the pages are together. It's more glossy and maybe a little prettier, and the prestige costs a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Brian Polito with Lady Death, that's what he's been doing for years. He does the 48-page prestige format, and then he splits it in 2, and then he puts those floppies, the saddle stitch floppies, out in the comic shops.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great model, and it works for him. That way nobody gets left behind. You got the people that want the prestige format, the perfect bound, the high gloss, all the little tchotchkes and everything like that. And then everybody that, still orders stuff from Previews Mag or, through their local comic shop, they can still get the book as well. They can still keep up with the story. I think it's a great model.
if I can get into the shops, that'd be great. You know.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle. I mean, you know, people know Polito's name and they know Lady Death, you know, and he slowly but surely had to build up Coffin Comics to the point where he could, you know, get a consistent thing in the shops. But it's a great model to follow, man. It's all about building that audience and all about you know, connecting with his customers.
Well,
taking them on a good adventure.
Year, yeah. Well, I mean, and hopefully this year, if I can get this floppy thing figured out. I plan on going to conventions. Lucky enough to work with someone who knows the guy that runs all the convention or a bunch of conventions in like a 3-state area. So I'm like, that is unbelievably perfect. So if I can just
right on, man,
do that, you know, get the $5 floppy thing going on, I will feel more confident about going to conventions. And to me, that is like the whole other side. Sure, you've got Twitter, you've got YouTube and stuff like that, and then the friends you meet along the way. But once you're there in the convention and you know you're sitting at your table and you're like you're interacting straight up with the people and they can see the art, they can open the book and all that stuff.
Yep,
it's going to be a whole nother experience for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
The old methods still work too. We've got these new methods of connecting with the audience here on YouTube and X and all the you know, the streaming, but being able to go to conventions and meet people in person and let them see the actual, you know, material, the product, the book, the story in hand. I mean, there's nothing like it, you know, being able to see the book in hand, you know. Yeah. So we gotta use both. If we're gonna be successful, we gotta use both. You know.
Yeah. Don't forget digital.
Yeah.
I sell digital on Fund My Comic. I sell a digital copy for $5.
Nice. Hey, that's the way to go. In Twix, says Feline. Yes.
Twix. I love the digital stuff because like when I do my reviews, it makes it so much easier to actually just show, you know, in full color and everything, the digital version. That's how we did all of our reviews so far. As luckily we've been able to do the digital versions on all of them. So because like even I didn't have Lucent digital, and Bancroft, like I just kind of touched base with him and he gave it to me for free. I was like, shit, dude, that's badass.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like he was so cool.
Bancroft's good peeps. You know, I really had him on for What's in the Box
classy.
for the first Lucent book, and so much fun. You know, it was a lot of fun talking to him. Really enjoyed that book. Inkspots and I actually did a Do You Even Read on the Lucent, and that was a lot of fun. We actually did it with our physical books. But when we do You Even Read, we usually do the digital. It makes it a lot easier. You can zoom in on things. We went over, you know, the first Lobo miniseries, and you know, being able to zoom in on some of the. Yeah,
it was like a 4-part series in like 90 from like 90 or something.
It was a lot of fun, man. Being able to zoom in and see all the crazy shit that Geffen put in there. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. But yeah, man. So what else would you like to say about this or your channel before we wrap it up?
All right. So yeah, go check out if you're into tabletop games, if you're into comic books, and if you're into fantasy novels, indie music. I interview all those guys. I've got, I don't know, over 200 videos, just, you know, interviewing. There for a while, I was doing like pop culture kind of critique and whatever. I don't really participate in pop culture and haven't for a while now, so that kind of dried up. And so then I started doing like trivia shows where we would do trivia based on the genres of our guests, and then which you were on for one of those. And then now we're kind of focusing. Me and Chris Fisk, we're kind of focusing more on doing more reviews. So and actually, what's funny is this stream I would normally be doing one of those right now because I usually stream on Thursdays. So
well, I appreciate you coming to hang out, man. This was fun.
Definitely.
And link is in the description for his channel. Go check it out. Give him a subscribe and check out the videos. Had a lot of fun on his show
with me. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming to hang out here. Feline, you are just amazing. Thank you so much for grabbing them links and putting them in the chat for everybody.
Yeah, on it.
Making them clickable. Oh, yeah, she's on top of it, man. She's, like I said, my partner in crime, my backup. Yep.
Yeah.
But thank you all so much for coming to hang out. Go sign up for Immortal Rising 2. And remember,
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.